never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. We're live. Did you like that?
I loved it. That was great.
Good afternoon, Jonathan. I'm sorry, but twice in one day is a little bit too much for you, isn't it?
What are you talking about? I was talking about with this 2 in a row.
Having me twice in one day, that can't be good for you, surely.
I'm loving it. So if anybody doesn't know, Ashley and I just did a session during our Accountancy Manager summer series. Ashley was very kind, came to speak to people about on our marketing session about LinkedIn. So thanks again for that, Ashley.
No, it was absolutely superb. I haven't even introduced you, Jonathan. Sorry. It's like we're familiar because we've just come out of one room and gone straight into another. But Jonathan is looking forward to this, so there must be something in the name there. Jonathan, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
So I am Jonathan Stobart. For those of you who have not met currently, I am the Head of Marketing and Strategic Partnerships at Accountancy Manager. Accountancy Manager and Bright recently brought Accountancy Manager on board. So we're a bit of both at the moment.
There, perfect. That was going to be one of my questions as well, because I've known you guys for donkey's years, because I was in that space with Jessica Pillow, with M Trio, and we've been working with other accountancy, practice type products, helping all the accountants that I work with. So well aware of everything that's going on. But yeah, what's going on then? What Bright? It was Bright Pay. So you're this big company now. How's that affected you, sir?
Yeah, so it's Bright. So Bright own Bright Pay and Accountancy Manager and Surf, which is a bookkeeper platform, but currently only in the islands. So right. It's been great for us, to be honest with you. So Accountancy Manager, we were like a small startup tech business. We started in 2017, and we grew the business up to a really good stage. And we were trying to, I suppose, internally challenge the mentality of thinking like a small tech startup. We weren't anymore, to be quite frank with you. And I suppose the acquisition really has just kind of taken the handbrake off the business. Bright very much saying to us, okay, you're doing great stuff. What do you need to be better, to do more? And we're talking resources, to be honest with you, actually. But we kind of said, well, actually, users are asking for more functionality all the time. It'd be great to have some more developers in order to be able to do that. And they won't go ahead and hire them, go and get them. Let's make the product as best it possibly can be.
So all of those people that have stuck by you, or your clients, they're all getting all these extra features that you've been saying, oh, we're going to do this and we want to do this, because that's the thing with software, isn't it? You develop MVP, is it minimal viable product, and exactly. We get that out, and it's great. But wouldn't it be good if it did this? And then you go, yeah, we want to do that, but it means we need to do this, and this. And I think us lesser mortals who don't work in software think that it's just a case of pressing a few buttons, but it's some little thing could be huge, and then other things could be a doddle to do. So now you've got the resource, we can bring us some new features.
Absolutely, and I was completely the same when I started with AM in the start of March 2020, and I couldn't understand why when they'd say, oh, a feature is going to go live in May, for instance, it wasn't going live. Oh, actually, something's come up, and we weren't hitting deadlines. But actually, it's only when you get into the intricacies of running a software business that you understand development. But cutting the mustard, extra hands on the pumps absolutely helps. So we'll be able to bring more feature, more functionality to the product. That's for sure.
No, fantastic, and I guess more help to accountants as well, because we've just done a whole hour talking about marketing and what accountants and bookkeepers can be doing to get more out of their marketing, what marketing means and stuff like that. That's a great initiative. So tell us a little bit more about the summer series, Jonathan.
So I suppose we've kind of been doing a couple of webinars a few months ago. We're getting some really good sign-up rates. We're very fortunate at Accountancy Manager that we've got a really good following. We've got some really passionate users, and they support us when we put webinars out to the market. we kind of did some session. We kind of thought, these have been great, but it'd be really good to do stuff focused on the accounting industry, to work with other people within the industry to deliver specific content that's going to help an accountant better their business. That's when we kind of looked at what's going on. Obviously, we started with MTD. We've already done a session on digital tools. We just did one on marketing today. Next week is growing businesses, and this carries on and on and on. And we look at recruitment. We're going to look at payroll. We're going to look at communication. So the series has been really well received. I think we're averaging about 300 registrations per session at the moment, which I think really shows that people are interested in what we've got to say. In fact, my colleague Adam's just dropped a link for the session into the chat box now, so you can check it out there and register for all the sessions that we've got coming up.
Oh, fantastic! It's great that we're doing this sort of thing, because running your own accountancy practice is hard work. And if we've got companies like yours giving away stuff, helping people, it's brilliant. And it makes me laugh, right? Because it's not difficult for you guys to do this, but you're really, really adding value to your community. I don't know if you know about the the restaurant guide, the Michelin guide. There's a Michelin guide for restaurants. So if you've got a really good restaurant, you get a Michelin star. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how that came about?
No idea.
Okay, so there's this tire manufacturer in France, and they thought, well, if people aren't driving anywhere, they're not going to use their tires, so they're not going to buy tires. So if we get them driving all around the country, going to different restaurants and hotels, then they're going to wear their tires out. And so that is how the Michelin star started. That's how that all started, because basically they'd get people going out and buying their tires. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's clever. Sorry, I was just going to say, you touched on a really, really good note. We're in a very fortunate position that we talk to lots and lots of accountancy practice. We've got thousands of users. So we've got this insight into how people are better running their businesses. And of course, so actually our users kind of ask us, oh, what do you think I should do about marketing? Or what do you think I should do about this or that? And actually trying to collate all the thoughts and feelings, the consensus of our community, along with some partners, and feed that back to the audience. I feel it's been quite beneficial to people watching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the other thing is, we're all in it together. Yeah, we're all here to help our accountants and bookkeepers to thrive and grow, and goodness knows what else. So why wouldn't we come on and help you for an hour on a Wednesday lunchtime or whatever?
What's becoming really apparent to me is that a lot of accountants have ended up running accountancy practices almost by accident.
Yeah,
a lot of users. I say to them, well, why did you become an accountant, or why did you set up your own business? Well, actually, it wasn't my intention. I wanted to be, some other profession, but actually, they either, I started to do a case study yesterday, and our user started off in the industry, and got quite senior in that position, ended up leaving and set their own practice. Never worked in an accountancy practice before. We've had other people that have dropped out the Big Four and set up their own practices. The variety of ways people get into it is really fascinating.
No, it's brilliant. It's a lovely community. I've been here 15 years and I absolutely love it. Okay, so how long have you been working with accountants and bookkeepers? Because you've got a bit of time under your belt, haven't you, sir?
Yeah, so I'd say 11 years. So I've been working for AM now for 2.5 years, since just before the pandemic. And prior to that, I was the marketing business development manager for a large regional firm based in the Midlands for 9 years. So I've got that sort of insight into actually the inner workings of an accountancy practice. And when our users are talking about the issues that they face every day, at least I feel like I know what they're talking about.
Yeah, blimey. So you were marketing for a large accountancy practice. So it gives you a real good insight. So you poacher turned gamekeeper, or is it the other way around? How does it work?
Well, I would say I jumped onto the other side, which is an increasing trend at the moment. People jumping to software vendors. Truth be told, actually, I'll keep the story quick. I really wanted to work for Xero. Like when I started at the practice in 2011, they kind of said, "Well, what's the big thing?" And I was told Xero was going to change the game. And obviously, I stayed with the practice. Xero gone to go and do what they've gone to go and do. And I remember looking back in about 2017, 2018, thinking, I really missed the boat there. How fun would that have been to have been on that, part of that business that was really taking off. Obviously, when I got wind of the accountancy manager position, did a bit of research into the company, what stage it was at. what the offering was, I thought, oh, actually, here we go. This is what I wanted. And then obviously as it's turned out, it was probably the best thing I've ever done.
Excellent. That's a great story. And the thing is, right, this is another zero, isn't it?
Absolutely,
just a little bit behind them. But yeah, you know what you're doing and how you're helping accountants. So I've worked for Digita, and we had a practice management solutions, really good practice management solutions, but they're not cloud based. And we all want cloud-based stuff because we're working from home, we're using different devices, and goodness knows what else. So yeah, he's stealing a march on all of those companies. Okay, so we did talk about it in the marketing webinar just a minute ago, but what challenges are you seeing our accountants and bookkeepers having, Jonathan?
Obviously, the big thing every time I talk to a user at the moment is MTD, and it's not just the increased work; it's how they're going to scale the business, how they're going to cope with this sort of influx in new work, and what the internal processes are going to look like. So of course, that's, I suppose, their big concern. We try and talk about the opportunities that MTD are going to present with the whole raft of people coming into compliance work that never have made submissions previously, but our users are they're not focusing on the opportunity because they're so concerned about what lies ahead of them in terms of the additional administration that's going to be involved in compliance.
Yeah, and how are you able to help our accountants and bookkeepers with that challenge?
Well, obviously, we've known MTDs coming for a while. For the last 6-7 months, our entire development team has been working on a new workflow tool, which is going to revolutionise the way that our tasks operate within the system. The whole emphasis is going to be on breaking down tasks and really delegating, breaking down tasks into granular detail to the extent of what you want to be able to allocate those to the right people so their tasks appear at the right times. From a director's perspective, they have good visibility on how that assignment is progressing, and yeah, we just think it's going to be quite instrumental to firms, dealing with MTD.
Yeah, and the workflow is key. I know this because we all want to know where everything is. I've got a very small practice. Is Accountancy Manager going to be too big and clunky for me?
No, not at all. So we have probably the majority of our users could be sole practitioners. We have a lot of large firms going to 50 employees, and we have very one-man bands companies as well. And in fact, if you have a look at our websites, we've got various different case studies of sole practitioners saying about how instrumental the system has been for them. So I would always say you're never too small to start with Accountancy Manager, and the system is set up to grow with you as well.
No, that's perfect. And I think this is the thing. Okay, you're running your small practice. It's just you, and you've maybe got a part-timer or something. By taking on, a practice management solution that does everything for you, that's saving you a member of the team or a fraction of the team, isn't it? It is saving you an awful lot of resource.
And that's exactly what the user said to me on the case study yesterday. They said time and time again, this is like a member of the team. This is the admin person of the team that's delegating all the way to, so that's kind of doing all the background chasing of books and records, chasing professional clearance. These are actions that no longer does a human actually have to undertake. You can now set up a system like AM to do this for you. And this is the future of the business, to be honest with you. Oh, Libby's just commented in the comments saying it's
I'm just going to put that up because that's the thing, right? You're putting yourself down there, Libby. Even she can handle it, and I think that was the biggest issue that I had when I was going around seeing accountants and bookkeepers when I was working with software. Is, oh my goodness, it's far too complicated. Oh, and it's really hard to get it all set up and get the right people to getting it working. What's the secret to a successful implementation of something like Accountancy Manager, Jonathan?
So I suppose a lot depends on the software. So we were set up by an accountant working in practice, looking for a solution like ours, couldn't see anything on the market, decided to set it up himself. That sort of insight has always kind of stayed with us, that we've always kept the accountant at heart of everything we do. It's the same with Bright as well. They've got the same ethos, the same mentality there. Their founder was also an accountant in practice. We always take on user feedback all the time as well. So we're always listening to our users. So when they're saying something to us about, oh, it'd be great if it did this. Okay, let's work on it and let's do it and let's put that functionality back out to the market. Our users will know we've just done that with our task list recently. So when you come around to implementing the solution, the real key is it's investing the time. You've got to invest the time to set it up correctly to make sure it's going to work for your practice. Every practice is unique in its way that it operates, and good software is enabled to be adapted to suit your practice. It's not going to dictate to you the way that you've got to work to suit the software. And as long as the software knows about the accountant's practices, then yeah, that's what I'd say the secret sauce is.
Yeah, so you're saying it's not a one size fits all. It's we can make it work with your practice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was selling software once, and I went to somewhere, and they would say, "Oh, we needed to do this, and we needed to do this, and we needed to do that," and we went, "Why?" And we really questioned why they were doing that process. And the only reason they were doing that process is they bought some software donkeys years ago that actually dictated that's how they had to do it. And when we start breaking it down, they realized that, well, maybe we can do it a different way. And so they found a different, better way to do it. Libby's nattering away here. It's knowing that the team are available and approachable when you have issues too. So we need real people. I'm taking that is Libby's talking about you and your team. So when the software, when I'm trying to do something with the software and I can't work it out myself, I can pick up the phone and talk to you guys. That's what she's saying, isn't it?
Absolutely. So the support team are there. They're literally sat there. The phone's next to them. Please call them. Well, I had a case. A friend of mine emailed me the other day saying, I've just been talking to one of your users, and I don't think they're utilising the system as well as what they can do. Who can help them with that? I was saying, us. We're the best people to help them. Not only do we have a dedicated support team that are there to answer any questions that you've got, but we've actually also now got a customer success manager that's been a recent appointment because of the extra resources that we've got by being part of Bright. The customer success manager now is going through and calling users up to make sure they're utilising the system, trying to maximise their use for it, making sure they're using it to its full potential. We're absolutely there to support users along their journey.
Yeah, I found that when I was working in software is that people don't realize how brilliant the software is that they've got. And they see somebody going, oh, we've got this really shiny software over here. And they go, oh, yeah, that's good. But they don't realize that they've actually got that feature in their shiny software. But no one's ever told them about it. So I love that approach. Tracy, we were talking about Tracy this morning because Sarah was on with us, wasn't she? We've been using Accountancy Manager for nearly 3 years now and would be lost without it. Saves us so much admin time. We've also been using BrightPay for the same period and love that they have joined together. There you go. Look at that. That's
Thank
perfect.
You, Tracy.
No, that's
and you know
really
what?
good.
When I joined AM, I knew I was onto something when I kept getting feedback like this. The feedback like this has been, consistent pretty much throughout my time with Accountancy Manager. So I appreciate when all the users give us nice comments like this.
Yeah, no, and this is the thing is once you're building a community, but you've got a great product at the center of all of that and a great team to back all of that up. So it's lovely when and now Sarah's in on it. Sarah, hello again.
Hi, Sarah.
Okay, so what's your top tip that accountants and bookkeepers can do right now, sir?
Just because something didn't work in the past doesn't mean that it won't work now. I think the world and the accounting industry is always changing. Technology is always developing. So if something didn't work for you, a few years ago, and it's still got an issue, I'd revisit it. I'd look back at these processes, albeit software choices or even marketing activities that you're undertaking. Just because you tried it once and it didn't work doesn't mean that it won't work today.
There's a little bit about I can't even say it. That was a little bit about what we were talking about earlier, isn't it?
Yeah,
is that consistency and not giving up. So I want a story now. I want a really good story of how you've helped an accountant or a bookkeeper, and you don't have to name names, but a really good story of how you've been able to help an accountant or a bookkeeper.
I suppose it's again. I did a case study yesterday, And I was talking to Susan, and she was saying about how when she started the business and she was getting a bit swamped and overwhelmed with workloads, kind of almost had to say, I'm not taking any more users. I just can't handle any more work. And so she's 3 years into Accountancy Manager now, and she sat there yesterday saying, "Oh yeah, as I'm just taking on my 6th member of staff." And of course, the first thing I do is set them up with an Accountancy Manager license. She was saying when she was looking to sign up with an Accountancy Manager, it was just herself, and she's debating whether the subscription fee was worth it. 3 years later, she's been able to put 6 more people into the business. These are people that are delivering value to the business as well. These aren't, I don't mean to be disrespectful for administrative people, but these aren't just people chasing books and records. The system's doing that for her. She's scaling the business. She's got a bigger office. She's just hired somebody else, and the benefit that the system has had to her business is absolutely unbelievable. So I was quite proud really when we was chatting, and I thought about where the business has been for her and where it is today.
No, I love that. And I guess that these case studies, you're putting them up on your website so people can go and have a
Absolutely.
have a look.
And that particular one will be up probably next week because that was hot off the press. I recorded the case study yesterday.
Oh, that's fantastic. So if you've been living under a rock, like the other Jonathan in the room today,
Jonathan, that's fine. Maybe it speaks to our marketing. I need to do more marketing is what I need to do. I'm sure Adam, if you wouldn't mind posting a link to the AM website into the comments, then you can check us out. Have a look at the website. Obviously, the best way to kind of find out about the system is sign up to a free trial, and then the team will talk to you about the system. But check out the website, accountancymanager.co.uk.
Yeah, it is good, Jonathan. But you don't even need to take my word for it. There's people coming on saying how wonderful it is. This was supposed to be 15 minutes, and we were talking earlier in your webinar about 15 minutes and how important it is. How can people get hold of you?
You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn, so feel free to search Jonathan Stobart, or feel free to drop me an email. And in fact, Adam, if you wouldn't mind popping my email into the chat box as well, thank you.
And we've got the website.
There's the website.
If anyone else has got any other questions, then please fire them up. But Jonathan, it's been lovely having a chat with you today. I've got one more question for you.
Go for it.
Okay, but before I do that, I need to give a shout out to my guest next week. Let's just go in here, have a click on there. He's up here somewhere, looking resplendent. I have Ainsley Damery in next week from Clarity, another lovely chap. So looking forward to having a chat with him and finding out a little bit more about Clarity and what they're doing. So here's my question for you, Jonathan. When you were at primary school, okay, what did you want to do when you grew up and was working?
Unfortunately, it wasn't marketing for software. I always wanted to play ice hockey. So
wow.
Yeah, so I still play today.
You play ice hockey?
I do indeed. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool fact. Well, I wouldn't know. What does a hockey player look like? That's cool.
Not me. No, not me actually. So, and I always thought, I'll go and play ice hockey. Even to the extent when I was at senior school, when we went to do a week's where you went and worked, or a week's work experience, I stayed home because I said to my mum, I was like, there was no point in me going to work into work because I'm just going to play hockey. So I stayed home and I got an ice hockey goal, and I put it out the street, and I just constantly for 9 till 5 shot pucks into a net because I was so convinced I was gonna play hockey as an adult. It speaks volumes, my parents, really, that they were so supportive despite me not being any good. Like they to show you the truth, they probably should have said, you know what, John, no one's going to pay you to do that. You really should think of something else. But
this is the thing, they supported you. I was chatting to somebody.
That dream.
You know that I'm into my music and what have you, and I was chatting to someone the other day, and she was telling me that she still feels she feels like an imposter when she's singing. She's got an amazing voice. She's brilliant, and she's got a lot of presence on stage. But her dad told her that she couldn't sing, and always in the back of her mind is that she can't sing. And so you're still playing ice hockey, all right, albeit it's not professional, but you enjoy it. And if your parents have turned around and said at the beginning you can't play, you'd have lost that love. So big up to your parents. Hey, and Ice hockey's loss is our gain.
There we go.
Jonathan, you've been delightful. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you very much for all the lovely comments and praise and shouting out for Accountancy Manager. And so you're on next week. So good luck with that. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for being on my show. We'll see you all next week, everybody. Cheerio now. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Cheers. Thanks, Simon.